Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wednesday Call Live. Now, let's hear it for our special guest host, Mike and Noelle Lewantowicz.
All right. Hey, guys, how's everybody doing? I am coming at you live from snowy St. Louis. So it's been an interesting, day. I remember I was going to drive out here, and then I was thinking, with this snow hitting Louisville, I was like, oh, man. So I ended up booking a flight, and I got in yesterday. Good news. Both planes landed right side up. It's supposed to upside down, so that's always good, you know. And then my Uber driver, I don't know if he's driven in snow before, but we got here. I think that was the most exciting part of the ride was the Uber driver from the airport to my hotel. But all good. Hey, here's what I want people to know. I know Sarah Seifert's in here in St. Louis. We've got people that are going to be here training today, this afternoon, and this evening. And we've got people that are committed and focused and not letting a few snowflakes cramp their style or stop them from chasing after their dream. You know, I committed to Noelle. I said, hey, look, when I go full time, I'm going to work harder here for us than I would for my previous boss. And I think that was the biggest thing is like, hey, we'll do crazy stuff. Why? Because we're chasing our own vision, not someone else's. And I hope you are too. So, hey, things might get tough, but hey, step up to the challenge. You'll have fun and you'll have some stories along the way. But grateful, Andy Albright asked us to jump in and cover things. Grateful that Andy's paved a way for Noelle and I. Grateful that he made a call to our buddy Alex Abian 25 years ago and said, hey, man, you got your options open. And then Alex and Jenny Abian said something to Noelle, and she said, yeah, I'm on board. Let's go. Let's do this thing. And then as I saw her having success, I jumped on the train and started running. It's been fun, and it continues to be fun and exciting today, which is why we're out here making stuff happen. So with that said, I got my partner in crime, Noelle, with me. We've got a theme that we're going to be hitting on today that's designed to help you make traction in your business, make traction in what you're trying to accomplish, whatever your vision is for yourself. We're going to talk about this, what we call the building game. And in that, we want you to understand, hey, what is this thing? Why does it matter? What's it got to do with everything or anything? And we're going to make sure you have some tools and understanding to take this and have it be meaningful to you as we're running this until we walk into our next big quarterly conference coming up in April. Noelle, we got you here with me. Anything you want to say as we get this thing kicked off?
I'm here. I'm glad your planes landed right side up. That's a good thing. That's positive. Right. We got a text from Gina Hawks yesterday or this morning, I think it was, and she was doing a meeting in Dallas, and we have a guy named Quentin Hill that drove through ice and a couple hours away, and he made it to the hot spot there in Dallas, and he brought somebody with him too, which is always good, which is also part of the building game, which is what we do. Guess what the building game is, by the way? It's your business. The building game is your business, and you have a massive opportunity. We all have a massive opportunity in this business. And so I just wanted to give a shout out to Quentin because I'm so proud of you, and I know that you can do it. And the thing is that there are people in St. Louis, like right there, that won't go to the meeting tonight. That's okay. We don't worry about the ones that don't go. We worry about the ones that do go. Okay. And so that's what the building game is about. How many people can we help open a door for them and give them an opportunity to decide if they want to do this and who they might know that would be good for this. It's just asking questions. So let's get into this. We have a couple guests with us today. Joseph Dukes, Jake and Veray, Joseph are going to be hopping on. But Mike, let's talk a little bit about what this building game is about and the why of this. Why are we doing this? And what can we learn from this?
Yeah, so we talk about the builder's game. So what is it? Well, first of all, it's a method of keeping score around the things that matter if you're trying to build a business and build it beyond yourself. So the first thing is hey, it's a method of getting points and a way for you to kind of be recognized for what you're doing in terms of whether we're getting an agent started by fast tracking that agent, helping him get his carrier contracts done, and helping him help families or her. Okay. And that's a simple building block. Can I find him? I'm looking for someone that wants to join the team, help him get started, help him get his carrier contracts going, and help him be equipped to start helping families. So we're getting points for all of that. Just keeping it real simple. Now,
and then helping them find somebody. Kind of like how you mentioned that Alex talked to me. He was a friend of mine that got me started in this. And all he did was ask me a question. You want to make some more money? I was like, yeah, hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah. And in that, it's like we talk about what are the things that matter. And people say, why is this important? Well, if your goal is to build massive streams of passive income, like a number of streams of the passive income, it's going to come from, okay, you're selling, which maybe that's the points aren't showing up on the game for that. It's still got, hey, that's like breathing. You got to be doing that. But then outside of that, you're looking to engage and develop other people, not just sign them up, but get them to be productive and helping them. And in doing so, hey, you're going to get points. Now, what's the prize? Well, the biggest prize for you is growth in your business. Okay. However, as a byproduct, the fact that this is a contest, you got a chance to earn a significant chunk of points to your Thailand trip. So if you tuned in on the little promo before this call got started, hey, we're excited to go to Thailand. And if you've not been on an alliance trip, they're well done. It's well thought out. We're going to be in Phuket, Thailand, which is a beach town next year. And that's just going to be amazing fun. It's going to be warm. It won't be snowy. There won't be any ice. There won't be snow plows. So that's big. You're going to be hanging out with cool people. It covers all the expenses for you and the guest. So if you and a guest, you get over there, you get picked up once you're in country. Everything's it's covering the flight. And once you're in country, everything's taken care of, from the ride from the airport to the hotel to, hey, we got a little spending money. And by the way, it's like you can almost buy stuff with Monopoly in Thailand. In that economy, it's like, hey, $100 goes a long way. Even if you got a spending habit, you will have fun there, and that's going to be a big time. But understanding that piece, that it's going to be a great trip, and you're going to be doing it with other winners that qualified. So if you happen to peg one of the 8 hierarchy contests, you grab first place. That's 50,000 points that you need of your 400,000 to qualify for you and a guest. Or if you're thinking, hey, I want to pick up that extension trip, say, Mike, I'm already going to get it. I said, well, maybe this will help you pick up the extension trip. So that would be the other thought. We're going up to Chiang Mai if you qualify for the extension trip. So
you're going that far anyway.
If you're going that far while you're in the neighborhood, you might as well hang out, because it is a bit of a flight to get there. Noelle and I were fortunate enough to be in Chiang Mai last year on a personal trip and had a great time with our daughter. Although if the IRS is listening, that was a business trip. Okay. But bottom line is we had a great time over there.
An incentive trip.
Incentive for ourselves. But this time, hey, if somebody else is picking up the tab, you're going to want to be there. We had a great time. So why does it matter? Because it's everything we're talking about here is in line with helping you take your business in a direction for building more passive streams of income. We're just doing it in a way that it's a little bit of fun, create some recognition, create some competition, and create more of a reward to help you get to Thailand. If you're brand new with us, the good news is, hey, you've got the whole year to get to Thailand. And if you're attending our big training events, you're going to pick up, if this is your first year with us, you're going to pick up, and I don't have the sheet in front of me, like 200,000 or 175,000, or I think 200 or 250,000 of points, depending on if you started with us in January or after January. You're going to pick up 200 or 250,000 points. That means you need 150 or 200,000 more. And so, great, here's another chunk of 50. So if you've got 300 from your training events and from this contest, then you need 100,000 more. And by the way, if this contest goes like we expected, we're just talking to Andy today, he's hinting that we might be able to do this each quarter. So if you like this part of the game and you take advantage of it, we might be able to keep it going. So please, we need your help and engagement in this. Don't let the team down. Be a part of it, have fun of it, take advantage of it, and spread the word.
Oh, by the way, you also create cash flow, short term and long term. By the way, you get all the money. You get the money. You get the overrides, you get the, if you get the money. So that's a big piece of this too. And then also, if you're riding some of the carriers we have, they have bonuses going on right now too. So you can get bonus money too. So this is just kind of tricking us all to, what's the game? The game is our business. We're going to lay out how you do it and stuff like that. But that's what this business is. We help families make some, help them with their policies, and we find other people to help families with policies when we need some more help. So,
yeah, absolutely. One of the things some people say, well, hey, how do I best take advantage of this? Or somebody says, hey, why do people lose momentum if they don't build or build deeper quickly? That's a question that came up as we talk about the game. And that's part of why this game is designed to incentivize you. So as Noelle said, okay, we get points for helping somebody get contracted, fast track contracted and get them helping families. But every time you help that agent, help an agent in depth, the points grow by a factor of 2, 3, 4, 5, 10x as you keep going down. And that's to help you as someone that's thinking about this to understand, if you can get a number of people engaged in thinking that way, it has a multiplying effect on your business. Okay. And so why is it some people get messed up on the momentum here? Why is it they don't pick up momentum? And part of it, here's my analogy, especially since it's a snow day. I think it's sometimes we get started and it's like, for me on a snow day, I was like, okay, no school. I'm going to sleep in a little bit. But as soon as I wake up, I want to be outside sledding. I'm thinking, hey, I need to be outside sledding. I need to be doing crazy stuff with my friends. And I want to run out the door, especially when I was like 8, 9 years old. I wasn't thinking. I'd be walking out there with flip-flops on if somebody didn't say, hey, wait a second. I might not have a coat or a hat or mittens. And mom would be like, stop. Go get your boots on. I don't have any boots, Mama. Okay, go get the bread bags and put the bread bags on your feet, or the Kroger bags or whatever it is. I don't know if you've done that, and put them on inside your sneakers as a backup, or go get you some kind of mittens or something. So Mom would be like, look, go do this before you go outside. And I'd be like, okay, yes, Mom. And then I'd get out playing, and because Mom had the foresight, I'd be out in the snow a lot longer, because what would happen is all the kids that weren't prepped, after about 30 minutes or 45 minutes, they'd be home crying because my hands are cold, my feet are cold, blah, blah, blah. And so guess what? Here's where we tie this back. Sometimes we're in such a rush to get selling and get out thinking that's the having fun part, that we're not thinking about the building side. And that's where, as a leader, we're going to encourage you, hey, start thinking about the building quickly, because in doing so, you're going to last longer as an agent. You're going to have the equivalent of cold hands or wet feet if you're not equipped. And having a team of people is going to help you grow more as an agent. It's going to create more cash flow for you to invest in leads personally as you're growing. It's going to give you a bright spot or spark when you're having a bad day, because guess what? In any business, you're going to have bad days. So let's talk about it. You're going to have a chargeback. You're going to have a no-show or a cancellation or something going to happen, and you're going to be like, you're going to have the one day, or maybe it's a 2-day burst where the first day is all no-shows and the second day is all do not closes. I wish it wouldn't happen, but you're going to have a day like that. So the question is, hey, are you going to be equipped with a couple people on your team that are maybe having a good day and giving you hope to get through that bad day? And so that's why I say, hey, look, take some time as you're getting launched to look at that. All right.
It's also more fun when you have people coming up behind you. Like, I was so excited that Quentin went to that meeting, because he's in depth for us, and he also brought somebody in depth for himself. And I just think it's more exciting, and there's more energy and more momentum when it's not just you personally producing. Now, you do have people supporting that, but if you have a team of, I'm thinking back to when Alex started me. It was Alex, me, and there was several other people there, and we were all working together in a way that made it fun versus if I was just, making phone calls from my house or something, right? So it's just more exciting when you have more people doing this. James and Pam Alara just mentioned that. We just talked to them a little bit earlier, but they're having fun. Not that they didn't have fun, but they're having so much fun now because they have put in a bunch of people and they're seeing that starting to pay off, and then finding depth under those people is starting to pay off for them. It makes it more exciting. The other thing too is why, sometimes people lose momentum if, it feels, they're most excited when you first talk to them versus 24 hours later. Right? So that's another reason to start helping people develop their business on the personal production side as well as the building side, because it's more exciting and they lose momentum if it's just themselves, right?
Yeah. Kind of another bullet point here is why is the first day so critical as we're talking to somebody? And I've got a story. In fact, this ties into Joe Dukes was able to help us out on this one. He may not realize it, but we've got a guy who we found a couple layers under a team. We've got Cam who hired Hayden. Hayden was licensed, Cam interviewed him. Hayden's hired his buddy William. They're both in Tucson. They both have full-time jobs in the military. And William has been working on his class to get licensed. He went up to the hot spot in Phoenix last week, got to meet James and Pam, got to meet Joseph Dukes. And guess what? The magic happened. He came out of there. He's like, hey, whoa, I've not been taking this serious. So sometimes the first day may be when they finally see the big picture. And then out of that, he's like, I know some people. And so now, while, yes, we're still coaching him on getting his license, he's already gotten one other person in class, and we're getting the fast track. He's got one more person for me to talk with tomorrow morning. And so the key is like the first day, sometimes the first day, maybe it isn't the first time you talk to them or when you're getting them rolling. We're certainly guiding them on the basics of how do we get them licensed and selling. What's important there? That's a given, right? So we're not skipping that. We still have to equip them. And the first day is as soon as they see a picture or you're mentioning them about passive streams of income. Hey, who do you know who might be good at this? And then as soon as it clicks, and whether it clicks because of something you said or because you get them around a team and they're at a live event, maybe it's a Zoom session, somehow they get around and something clicks. So because the team was out serving, Joseph was down in Phoenix, coming down from Salt Lake. Gina was there, and he saw, hey, big things happen all of a sudden. It's like, okay, now it was really his first day of understanding things, and now he's engaged on the building side in addition to the selling. All right. Noelle,
you want to get into the how?
Yeah, let's make sure. I'm going to pull up the game here. I should be able to share my screen, I think. So, Billy, let me see if I can pull
We want to make sure people understand actually how this is designed and structured so that you can win, and you can win fast in your business, which is the game. So we're going to go over this. Yes, there are rewards for the game, right? There are the Thailand points, all expense paid trip. Some of the leaders are also doing side incentives for their team. Mike and I have one. We'll get it out to our team, but we want to make sure that you understand how it's structured. Real quickly, we want to go through that, breaking down the strategy of the game and the brilliant mind of Andy Albright.
All right, is my screen showing up okay here?
I can see it, yeah.
Perfect. All right, good. All right, so I've got it here, and so we're going to keep it. Oh, actually, that's the scoreboard. I'm going to get the contest details. And it's funny, we asked somebody to go through and share the contest details. We realized, as simple as we think it is, some people didn't understand it. So we want to make sure everybody here's got clarity. So there are 8 different games within the game, as in 8 different teams. So if you're with us and you're listening, guess what? You're on one of these teams. So Stephen Davies, Alec Fitzgerald, Adam Katz, Adam and Beth Katz, Noelle and I, the Manly team, the Riddle team, the Avian Hierarchy, and any agent outside of that that's working with Andy, the ABTF, okay?
I think it's the Albright hierarchy now.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the top 25, in each of these is going to earn points to Thailand. So if you think of it, 8 times 25, hey, that's 200 people are going to earn Thailand points. So if you're thinking, oh, this is one of those contests, it's just for the best 3. No, 200 people are going to earn points here. So go get you some. I think that's the brilliance of this, is a number of people can earn and put a dent in the points to join us in Thailand. Okay, so the first level, when you fast track somebody, that means you help them get their NAA number and they sign their fast track agreement. That gets you 10 points. If they have their license and you then help them do their first carrier contract, then you get 25 points. Then we help them start writing policies. Doesn't matter who they're at. Could be on themselves or parents. Could be through leads. Could be through whatever. There's a point for every dollar of premium that comes through. So if you help one agent get fast-tracked and contracted, there's 35 points. They write $1,000 of annual premium. There's 1,035 points. As you can see, there's a lot more points for the premium, but you got to get them fast-tracked or contracted. So, Mike, what if they were contracted before the start date of the contest? Keep helping them. Keep loving on them, because that's going to help grow your business. We're just not getting points for this contest because the contest is for newer activity. So if you're helping, your cousin Ferd, who you got contracted 3 years ago and he still hasn't written his first policy, I encourage you to help him. But man, let's get someone new. They might move faster than your cousin Ferd.
Well, okay. Cousin Ferd can also be in this contest. Those points would go to cousin, which is a good thing. So that's all of that's a good thing.
Yeah, and your dorky cousin Ferd, maybe he knows a winner that will move faster. So encourage him to participate. All right.
Maybe he's not dorky. Maybe he's just...
He's not. Maybe he's a cool. All right. Either way, somebody's going to probably come up to and say, I actually have a cousin named Ferd. So, all right.
One of these days, because Mike uses that name a lot.
Okay. All right. So really, really simple. So if here's you and you help Bob, you're getting 60 points. You help Bob, Joe, and Tim, excuse me. So you're getting 60 points for each of the fast tracks, 10, 20, 30. Then for the contracts, you're getting 25 for Bob, 50 for Joe, 75 for Tim. And then for the premium, 1,000, because it's a 1 multiplier, a double multiplier for Joe, a 3 times multiplier for Tim. So there's a total of 6,210 points if you help Bob find Joe, find Tim. Okay? Really, really simple.
So that, just so everyone's clear, so your first level, it's 1 times. Your second level, it's 2 times the points you get, or marketing credits. The third level is 3 times. The fourth level is 4 times. So keep that in mind. The further you go in depth, the more you accumulate marketing credits.
And there's no limit here. So again, if you go 4 levels, it's 400%, 5 levels, 500%. We're not going to falsely stack things. You're not going to give an agent to someone in depth just to make it look good. It's based on, hey, did somebody run the interview or talk to someone on their own? We're not looking to create fakeness here. Okay. And personal use is a great way to get somebody started. We're big on doing personal coverage reviews with everybody. And if they need coverage, let's help them get used to the products they're going to be selling and representing them through what they're doing.
Plus, it's the first step in the 8 steps, so that's good too.
Yep. All right. Here's an example real quick of somebody doing it big time. 78,000 points because they helped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people in width. And then of those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chose to help some people in depth, some doing more than others. Okay, so 1 level deep, 10 fast tracks, 100 points, 5 recruits that were contracted for 125, 5,000 each should pay. There's 5,200 points. The next level is driving 12,000 points. The next level, 15,000. The next level, 16,000. So even though there's fewer people doing work, the multiplier is making the volume more significant. And so we pop down to, this spot here. And we're seeing, hey, 6 levels deep, there's 4 agents, but we're popping, hey, another 12,000 points because of that. All right. Another example here, we got more, and you're driving 78,000 points in this example. Okay.
Yeah, I think this is on if somebody's looking for this, I believe it's on the Alliance homepage there. you have access to this.
You go to the ARC and you'll see it with the contest information. All right. So don't want to make this overly complicated. Now, to win points within your team. So we showed how do you get points to translate those points to Thailand points. What's that look like? Okay, here we go. There's a minimum of 10,000 points required to get any of the 25 slots that are going to get point credits. And so that's a scale that goes from 50,000 all the way down to 5,000. And if you say, hey, what's 5,000 points like? Well, that's like doing a $50,000 annuity, because annuity premium counts as 10% typically, or close to that. So even if you pop 25th in a contest, hey, that's still 5,000 points. That's like writing a $50,000 annuity. Or doing 50,000 points, that'd be like doing $1 million annuity. Just to give you an idea of what's the value of winning, there's going to be 8 people that do this from the time this contest started. They're going to rack up points, and hey, even if you come in 5th place, hey, 36,000 points is still a chunk. It's worth fighting for this, I promise you. Okay, that's the how on the game. I think we hit all the slides. This is probably a good point to get, I think, Jake and Vray or Joseph and get their thoughts on this. Or Noelle, anything before we kind of move along here?
No, I love it. I think it's great. It gives everybody an opportunity to earn and do, and again, build their business, which is what the game is all about. Whether you have your license right now or not, you can still be earning these bonus credits, because you can fast track somebody and you can contract somebody, etc.
Jake, what's, as you've seen this, what's a mistake you've seen other people make? Or in fact, let's start off with let people know who you are, and start there. Tell y'all who you are, what's going on in your business, what are y'all excited about? Because I know there's a ton of good stuff going on. Hit us with some of that and we'll get back to the game.
Yeah. Hey, what's up? We're Jake and Joseph. You can see a Joseph theme going on right now. We're out in Rio Rancho, New Mexico, by the way of Mr. Dukes and Mike and Noelle Lewantowicz. Excited to be here. Thank you guys for having us. I couldn't have thought of a better person to explain this game than Mike Lewantowicz, because I know you love explaining it.
I was telling Jake, I said, that's real beaverific. We need to speak to the lion otters.
I knew when Mikey got this topic, you were like, I've got this. But no, this is, okay. So talking about, we're excited. We've had, we've had a record month last month. This will be a record month this month as well. Just with the step up of app count. Last month had over 250 apps issue paid for just under 200,000 in premium as a team. New regional manager Sarah Seifert, so right there in St. Louis with you, Mike. Just insanely,
a new agency manager that's going to break out this month.
We got another agency manager breaking out this month. Just insanely proud of her and what her and Pablo are doing, because you ain't seen nothing yet. We were just looking. I love looking at the ARC, Robbie, because you can always tell when you got new people getting paychecks. And we were just looking. We got 3 new agents hitting their first paychecks this Friday. Sarah's got someone on her team, first paycheck over $1,000. Not kidding. She's been with us only a couple weeks. So really, really cool. So the topic of this whole running these contests is Andy's. It's a lot of different pieces, right? But the one thing I always go back to is he's tricking us. Andy's tricking us into building a business. He's tricking us into making money. He's tricking us into living a lifestyle that him and Jane have experienced, right? So I've always thought of all the contests that we've seen and we've participated in, and it's just to trick us into being rich, right? Or to changing our lifestyle. So when you look at the events, I mean, even outside of this contest, you go to an event, you get bonus points for Thailand for these all expense paid trips. And the reason he's tricking us to get the bonus points is not just to earn the trip, also to make sure that we expand our learning and our training, right? To personally develop, to learn how to sell, to learn how to recruit. So when we look at this contest, it's tricking us into building a business. So on those days when, like Mike said, I sucked at selling in the beginning. I was so grateful that we focused on overrides, because any day I was in the field and I went 0 for 8, I'd just pull up my ARC commissions and I'd be like, damn, look at them overrides. All right. I don't need to be good at selling to make money. You know? So it's exactly what you said, Mike, is you're going to have those bad days. And when you build up overrides. So again, the idea is Andy's tricking us into building a business, into creating a lifestyle. So.
What excites me about it, and I told Jake, I was like, we better get those 50,000 bonus points or else. So what excites me about that is just the opportunity for, people that are selling to get so many bonus points, and the people that want to build get a lot of bonus points too. I'm grateful for the bonus points that Andy's laid out. But if you're anything like me, to be clear, I understand that contest. I could not explain it like Mike and Noelle, but let's just go out there. Let's hire people. Let's go deep. If you just focus on hiring people, getting depth, helping them make a paycheck, you're going to be on these. You're going to be on this leaderboard, and you're going to look up, and next thing you know, you're going to have a lot of bonus points. So that excites me. Just kind of the ready, fire, aim method. Just go out there. Let's hire some new people. Let's get them to hire somebody, and let's get them issue paying business. And then you'll look up and you'll have the bonus points, and that's how that works in my mind, right? I can't, again, Mike and Jake can sit here and explain it all day, but I'm just excited about the momentum of it and just the idea of let's get some new people going.
Think about and you're right. I'm the same way, right? That's why he explained the game. But think about this. How many people could you get in the game? Like, how many people that you, in your organization, can you get playing this game? Think about how many of them. How many people can get 100 points? How many people can get 200 points? And start thinking about that, because that can start exploding your business, but also their business when you start thinking about that. Yeah. You think you're going to be getting that 50,000 points? Hooray. All right. I want to be at the top too. And I'm also thinking, how many people can I get to play the game? Because that's very exciting, right? Mike, do you have any, the one other thing too? I was most excited when I saw this business the first day, right? I'm excited now, so my hair is on fire and all that. But my starting point was the most excited. I feel like most people are probably like me. When they start, they see this opportunity, they're the most excited. They're very high on the excitement level. That's when we need to start talking to people about this business and about what it can do for them, but also about who else can we help in this business and start building their business.
Yeah. And what I think of too is, you get somebody fast track between January 24th and now, not only is it going to help us earn those bonus points, but look, we're going to get brand new agents earning massive bonus points. And that will be, a lot of times that's going to be the line of, did they earn Thailand or not, right? So I'm thinking of people on our team that I'm like, we need to help take advantage of this. We need to get them hiring people. Not only are they getting the bonus points from going to events, they're selling, they're working their butt off, but if we could get them these bonus points, that's going to be that line between people that missed it by 400 points and the people that were over by 400 points.
There's so, I could talk about a lot. An hour and a half is not enough. There's so much to take away from understanding how these contests work, right? If we look in previous years, the 40-40 contest, running 40 appointments a week, if you participated in that, you learned that running a high level of running 40 appointments a week, you were going to issue pay 30, 40 grand a month. And then the habit stuck of knowing high activity. So coming out of this contest, and it sounds like we might be able to have it keep going every quarter, the idea is to build a habit of continuing to take these lessons and follow it up. So the score in 24 idea, when we hire someone in those first 24 hours, how can we get them a win? How can we get our brand new people to win in the first 24 hours? Whether it's them jumping on their first national call. Maybe we just hired them at the right time and there's a hot spot in the next 24 hours, right? Maybe it's them hiring their first person in 24 hours, right? That's when they're most excited, like what y'all have been talking about.
Maybe they're licensed and we could get them writing an app in their first 24 hours.
If they're licensed, you can do a Mutual of Omaha contract, just like the one on Mike's shirt, and they can write an e-app right then and there. Can they write their first policy in 24 hours? Can they get their convention ticket in the first 24 hours? What can we do to get a solid win in the first 24 hours? And then even backing it up, like what you guys just mentioned, is a hotspot's almost a reset. You know, a national convention is a reset. 24 hours after something like that. Yeah, y'all could have, when I saw Noelle show the plan for the first time, you could have told me to do whatever. It didn't matter. I was just excited that I would have done whatever you guys told me to do. So understanding that score in 24, if that's something that we can build and take away from a contest like this and continue to do that in our business following, yeah, you're going to see stuff happen very fast. Because every time I've had someone come out of a hot spot, you look at their eyeballs and they're looking like this, like they just got on something good and they've just seen something new for the first time. And that's when you get them hooked. That's when you get them.
And then that excitement level drops by 50% 24 hours later. So it's important to be talking about the passive income, the residual income, and then also trying to help them get someone else to the next meeting or on a call with you. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah. So Jake, so you know the things you've been doing right. What's a mistake either you've made or you've seen other people make, a more common mistake, that slows down the growth or the duplication or the habits that are needed for the game? What slows down or stops people from trying to get somebody started in depth?
Yeah. Like we said, we only got an hour and a half. So I'm just kidding. The first thing that I can think of is sometimes as leaders, yes, we have to get someone up and selling and we got to get them making money. I'm not saying we don't do that. I'm saying we still focus on that. And at the same time, we've experienced it, and God knows y'all have experienced it as well because you've been here a while, is we put so much focus and emphasis in working with someone, and yes, we get them up and selling, that we're so jaded to the fact that we're in insurance. We make money selling insurance. I did not get into this business because I liked insurance, nor did I get into this business because I liked sales. Y'all painted a picture of building a business and being able to grow something to where if we're sick, laid up in bed, or we're on a beach somewhere, there's money still coming in. It's painting that picture day one, because the mistake, getting back to the topic, the question, Mike, is the mistake we've made and that we are being clear of, that we're avoiding, is, again, not talking about who they know right away. Because how many times, we don't have to answer out loud for everyone who's at home or whatever, but is how many times have we spent time with an agent and you focus and you gave them your time, your energy, your money, right? Buying them leads or whatnot. And you spend time with them and they get up and selling, and then bam, they quit. Right? They get their first charge back. Their dog dies, or their spouse is cheating on them or something, and then they're out of the business, right? Something happens, and because we didn't go deep fast, we feel like we've just lost a bunch of time because we never found anyone else to work with. I promise you, because we've seen it the other way around, is when we've built depth fast and we found someone underneath, 3 layers in deep, that's where you're going to find your gold mines, is at least 3 layers in deep. And then the person at the top quits. You've still got someone to work. Now you feel like, oh, you can quickly recover because you still have the fruits of your labor there and you can work with them. But you spend, weeks on end, months on end training this one person, and then they're gone. You're like, oh, you kind of come out of this daze of like, what was I doing? Now you feel like you have to restart all over again. But when you have nothing to show for. You ain't got nothing to show for, right? It's like if you never have kids or grandkids, it's like your generation stops there. So
can you tell a quick story about how y'all found Team Money? Because you kind of went through getting some people started, but you didn't make the mistake. So let's talk about where you won and how Team Money has emerged because you were following that. You weren't making a mistake. You were doing it right.
Yeah, that's something we had started a group beginning of the year. Gosh,
Like
within
March of last
Oh
year.
yeah, March of last year. So probably in less than 6 months, we grew it to about 40,000 in premium a month, and then 1 second to the next, a group of people dropped off, and we found
There was
someone.
a rotten apple in that.
There was a
group.
rotten
We're not
apple.
naming names. There was a rotten
We found a
apple.
rotten apple, and we threw it to the side. And we found our good friend Tiffany Nunez, or AKA T Money, and someone who's selling, recruiting, building, going to events. Like she's the one who's always sending out the TWC links. She's the one who's traveling 3 hours for hotspots here in Albuquerque. She's the one who's constantly bringing in people to the business. She's the one who's constantly reading books and like excited for setting up her new little office space and stuff like that. So, and that's 3 in depth. If we think of like another personal story, why you go deep fast,
Let's pause on that for a second. Okay, so I want to come back. So you were helping. We won't name names. Let's just say it was Jose, Hose B, Hose C, and then Tiffany. Right. So what were you intentional about doing with Jose, Hose B, and Hose C that helped lead you to Tiffany? Because like you said, so we can fall in the trap of helping to create volume and helping the selling. But what were the things you were intentional that you can remember, or how did the phone call go? Are you the one that helped this guy reach out to Tiffany? Talk about some specific things that you did.
we were overall, we were focused on building a leg, because a single person is not a leg, it's a nub. So to build an organization, you have to have multiple people selling insurance and recruiting. So our main focus was, hey, we get someone started. Who do you know? Who do you know? We were doing a lot of 2-on-1 phone calls. And when we were finding and identifying someone, we were working directly with them. We were not letting these brand new folks, we were not letting these brand new agents talk to their people or train their people. Maybe we were just teaching them, hey, how to send them talk to them about the TWC. And yet we were the ones who were getting them up and selling. We were getting into their warm market. So as we were adding new people in depth, we were the ones making sure, just like in Andy's Green Book, we were going straight to the source, straight to whoever was selling, recruiting, and building.
And we were making it fun. It was a group of younger guys. And so Jake was like, let's run a contest. We got to get some depth out of here. So we ran a contest, not a contest Andy did. It was our own contest. If they could issue pay, what was it? 25 apps in 1 month between the 3 or 4 of them.
That was in a week.
Oh, within a week, excuse me. Yeah, 25 apps within a week. Not issue pay, write 25 apps. And it show on the submit report, Jake took them to an NBA game out in Denver, right? So just having that momentum, having them, and that was fun for Jake. That was fun for them. That was something that was super simple and cheap for us to do because we're so close to Denver. But just making that fun and driving that environment. And then part of the contest too was, hey, you got to get me on the phone with people. So having our own contest that we did that wasn't breaking the bank, talk to your upline manager. I'm not saying everybody needs to go run a contest, but how can we make it fun? Because that's the other thing too, coming back to what you were saying about James and Pam earlier, it's really fun building this business with people and doing things the way that you enjoy it, because what Mike and Noelle enjoy might not be what Jake and I enjoy. And same thing with, Joseph and anybody on your team, right? So just making it fun for yourself and taking ownership of your business and deciding what are you going to be doing to create the environment that you want.
Being clear that we're not making the mistake of letting the blind lead the blind. I remember my first day on the job in the movies, they had me following around some guy. It was his second day on set. It was his second day. It was my first day, and I was following around that guy, and we had no idea what we were doing. So when we're hiring people in depth, we're going straight down to that source and not making that type of mistake of, they can do it. They've got it, right?
Yeah, and I want to come back to something you said, Jake. Treat your depth like your width. Treat them like you hired them until you can find a leader in depth that starts doing that themselves. And even then, continue to help them build, but treat your depth like your width. If you're brand new at this and you don't have any width, that's the first part. It's like, start talking to people. Now, you don't have to be the one to do it. Like Jake was saying, these guys weren't the ones doing it. They were just being a scout and nominating people to maybe this will be a good one, maybe not. And then Jake and Veray were talking to those people. You heard him say they were doing 2-on-1 phone calls. They were just doing 3-way calls or whatever to connect and show this opportunity and give people a chance. Mike, you were going to say something?
Had a couple of thoughts. Another question that is, I think, to ask, and maybe I was going to bring in Joseph and just let him chat a little bit. It was kind of my next thing, but along the way, I'll just hit it while I was thinking about it. Somebody had asked me earlier, they said, hey, if you're struggling with helping somebody out in depth, why? And I've got two things. One, are you serving them on the selling side of things? Are you helping them sell? Or are you ignoring that? Because again, you still need to be paying attention to that. So that'd be my first thought. The second thing is, hey, how's your people skills game? Now, you probably think you're awesome, but maybe you suck and don't know it. And maybe it's going to take some introspection. Maybe what are you reading to really help and look at your people skills? And so if it's like, hey, what are you reading and listening to? So whether you're reading the book or using an audio book, or some people need a double dose, you need to read it and listen to it. Here's a couple of books I would suggest on the basics. Like, what are you doing in terms of how well do you understand what I call the Bible of people skills, which is how to win friends and influence people. That's classic. If you're looking for something newer, again, and I haven't read this, but Andy's been promoting it, so I'm going to tell you, it's on one of my next books to read, but I've heard Andy talk about it, and that is Talking to Strangers by Malcolm Gladwell. Another one that's out there is Skill with People, another classic. That's like a very, very short one. So if you like, I need something short that I can read in an hour, Skill with People is like probably less than an hour, maybe 30 minutes to get through the whole book. So I'm thinking, what are you doing to build your people skills game? What's driving you? You might ask somebody that you trust as somebody's mentoring you. Say, hey, am I doing something to turn people off, or what do I need to change that might be holding me back? So, but the first thing is, are you serving people to help them get good? And then are you paying attention to how you relate with folks?
One other note on that is, when you have somebody or you think somebody's good, get them around somebody like them, right? Get them talking to I'm going to use Jake and Veray. Get them on the phone. If I've got somebody young, I want them to talk to Jake and Veray. If I have a mom doing this, I want them to talk to Sarah Seifert. So you get them around people like them, because you don't have to be it all. You don't have to, my experiences, like Veray said, are going to be way different than other people's experience. And that's okay. You don't have to be the guy. We have so many great examples of people that you can connect them with. I just had somebody call or text me before this call about getting somebody, connected with Emily Katz because she's a younger person. I was like, yeah, let's do that. You know what I mean? And so just be thinking about that. You don't have to be the guy to do it all or the girl to do it all. Right?
Yeah.
I've never tried. My personality has never turned anybody off at all.
Go ahead, Veray.
Mike's always making me aware of when I'm being overbearing. Go ahead, Veray.
No, I'm just kidding. No, one thing I just wanted to mention too, I'm sure we've done it at times, so it's not to sit here and point fingers, but I know, we've had some people on our team, they're so frustrated with somebody on their team because they're not doing X, Y, Z, but they're still bringing people. And it's like, rather than focusing on what they're not doing, can we focus on the gratitude that they're bringing us people? And why don't we just step in and work directly with them, right? Because like you said, Mike and Noelle earlier, is, you're looking for the leader that will take the reins and start doing it. But in the meantime, when you have people that just want to be a part of the team and be loved, and they're bringing you people, rather than focusing on everything they're doing wrong, why can't we focus on the things that they're doing right and have gratitude for that? And I think that's huge, and I know I've made that mistake in the past, but Jake and I just this morning at breakfast, it's so easy to feel frustrated with people, or you can step back and say, wow, look at how many things they're doing right. They just need time to grow, just like we needed time to grow. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's bring Joseph into this conversation, Mike.
I'll circle back on it.
Yeah.
Hey, let me, I gotta give Joseph Venus credit.
Yeah.
We've seen them have a massive shift in what they and their staff are doing on the recruiting side of their business. That's why he is on the top, well, second to Noelle and I, but on the top of our leaderboards
Exactly.
within our game, okay, as of this morning's update. But the key is, though, we've seen Joseph make a massive push. And I think, so the first start is, hey, how do you get started? What are you doing to talk to new people? And so, Joseph, I think you're a huge edifiable example, but talk a little bit about what's going on just on that front, what you're doing to lead from the front.
Okay. Hey, y'all. I am Joseph Dukes. My wife, Venus, and I live here in beautiful, snowy Ogden, Utah, where we actually like snow, unlike the rest of y'all, where you're all bitching and moaning about it. So I'm, well, actually, let me back up. One of the things that shifted, Venus here brought me a book probably 90 days ago that really started help changing how I looked at things, because I'm going to agree with Ray. It's really easy to go down, and I'll call it a negative path. Like, hey, things aren't working. The person that I hired, they aren't doing what I want. And she pointed out this book called The Gap in the Gain. And that's been such a massive thing for me is looking at, hey, what is, we can always look at things it's all how you frame it, I guess. And so really looking at things that what's happening that is a gain in my life right now. And one of the major things that was a big gain was going to national convention. So if anyone is here and our next major event is going to be back at the corporate office here in April. That is going to be one of the biggest gains in my life. I already know it. I'm claiming it now. That event, that three days is going to change my business. And it's going to change my business because we are going to have more people there. I'm speaking it now. We're going to have more people there at that event than we've ever had. We're going to have more excited people at that event than we've ever had, because they're going to come out of there knowing things that they didn't know when they walked in. And when I walked out of National Convention, there was a couple things that happened. We had brought on some new staff, and I think it was 3 weeks before, Mike, I was out at your guys' boot camp, and we'd spent some time at the cabin together with Andy and been getting some training. And I realized that, hey, you know what? Why not me? Why not now? And if I wasn't happy with where the business was going, I felt kind of stagnant for a while, and I realized that was just a choice. So the cool thing is that the law of, Newton's law of motion talks about an object stays at rest until it's acted on by an outside force. So I got around Mike. I got around Noelle. I got off my buttocks and got out to Louisville and got around Mike. I got out and I got around Andy again. And I was reminded that, hey, there are people out there that are winning. And all we got to do is start moving. So we did. We started taking more action on having licensed list interviews, on talking to more people, on talking to agents that we already had about, hey, who do you know that might be a good match? Because we are hiring. We need some more help. And it's been cool. Just the last 60 days is totally transformed. I love what, Jake, you talked about the contest, Andy gamify stuff. And the 40-40 contest changed a lot of people's minds. I remember when it was a big deal to go out and, you booked 10 appointments. Oh my gosh. It's like, Dios mio, are we going to die from that much work? It was like, by the way, that's a Telemundo reference. It's such an emotional thing, these 10 appointments. And then we talked about 20 appointments a week. And then when Andy changed it to 40-40, like, hey, you can do 40 appointments a week. You can do 40 interviews a week. Being able to stretch, it's that rubber band. Well, like the rubber band never goes back to the same shape. So like I watched Jake and Varay, I watched their rubber band stretch with how they thought and their activity. And it's cool because even when the contest changed, their rubber band never changed. Like their activity level was always up. The way that they thought was higher than it was before. So I'm excited because with the way that we've changed how we're recruiting now, like I know that, we're going to even if this is the only contest Andy runs this year, I know that our recruiting is going to stay at the level it's at and continue to get better because our rubber band has gotten stretched from doing more work. Work works, by the way. I'm just going to say.
Work works. What a concept. Work works. Oh, shoot.
You work.
So a couple of questions that kind of people have thrown out at us ahead of this call. What's the next step or next steps for someone who wants to master this game? What can I do right now, Joseph? So somebody's like, let's take somebody who's a brand new agent and, okay, they're getting started selling. Like maybe they're on today and this is their first national call. What's one thing that brand new person can do today to jump in and take advantage of this game?
Great question. I think number one, you have to believe. You have to believe that why not you? Why not now? Like you have to believe that you can. Number one, you got to believe that you can qualify for Thailand. Because I love the contest because, hey, it's all the bonus points. But I actually heard a new agent tell me this. He says, "Oh, I don't think that I can qualify." I'm like, "Why not?" Well, because, and he didn't even know the numbers. He just assumed. And I'm like, dude, anyone, like if you're willing to work, you got to believe that you got a shot. Well, what's that Dumb and Dumber thing? So you're saying I got a shot. It's not a 1 in a million chance. It's just get off your rusty dusty and get going. So I think, first of all, you got to believe it. And the second thing is like, hey, we all have this phone thing. That's my life. Yeah. You have $1 million in your phone. Who do you know in your phone that you like? Like, who do you know that, Andy talks about intelligent, resourceful, and ambitious. And I'm going to say, yeah, who do you know who would be fun to be in business with? The main thing about this contest is that it's fun. I like having fun. I'm the otter lion guy that just wants to, and I just like getting in a mix up just because it's a lot of fun. And who do you know that would be fun to be in business with? Now, I didn't say who do you know who would want to get an insurance. I'm super grateful for, when I was hired, it was one of my best friends, and he picked up the phone and didn't think, gosh, I wonder if Joseph has this burning desire to join my insurance team. No, he just called me up and says, hey, man, I know you want to have fun. I got these people I went to work with, Mike and Noelle, and they're a lot of fun. You should meet them. I'm like, and that was cool. He introduced me to Mike, and he's right. Mike he's a kick in the ass. He's a lot of fun. So it's who do you know in your phone that you can talk to, and then who can you get on the phone with your upline? Who can you get on the phone with your coach? That would be the one thing. Like don't be the thing that, oh, I have to tell him everything. It's like, no, hey, Mike, hey man, hey dude, I tell you what, I just started this new job. I'm super excited about it, but I was talking with my boss, and he was saying they needed some help. And I thought about you. I didn't know if you were looking at all, but dude, I'm excited about working with these guys. And then, well, what is it? Well, hey, you need to talk to Mike, because he's like I said, he's a lot of fun. They're making a lot of money, and I'm excited because I see a lot of potential here. It's an insurance, and they got all these leads, man. So hey, you got a few minutes today that you can talk to, and make it like now, like not like next week, but now. We got to go.
I'm going to throw out go ahead.
I was going to say what I heard Joe say. Number one, hey, believe that you can do this thing. And I think, if you've not looked at the flyer for the Thailand contest, take a look. Understand, hey, there's up to 275,000 of bonus points from training. You've got a chance at 50,000 here, which means, okay, 275 plus 50, that's 325. You need 75,000 more. And so, you can, or what if you came in, what if you got 5,000? Okay, it's another 5,000 or 20 or 30, whatever chunk you see yourself grabbing. Hey, that's that much more. And then it makes the game, the game is making it easier for you to take your partner, spouse, or friend to Thailand with you. Second thing, think of someone, make a call, and get someone that has the experience in the business involved. It ain't got to be on you. So just keep it, believe, reach out, talk to somebody, and get somebody else involved. Just keeping that really, really simple. Joseph, thanks. Go ahead, Noelle.
I'm going to throw out one challenge for everybody on this call right now, actually. I love that Joseph brought up you have $1 million on your phone. Go ahead and text somebody. Andy talks about text dialing, right? It's like just text a friend, text somebody you know, text somebody you haven't talked to in a while and say, hey, do you got a minute to talk? Do you have a minute to talk business? Or whatever. You know how to talk to your friends. You know how to talk to your network of people. We all have network of people. And then if you get somebody on, maybe you can just do 5. Like we have 30 minutes right now or so before this call. Maybe you just do 5 today or 3 right now or something. Just text them. Hey, do you have a minute to chat about business or whatever? And then when you get a live one on, I'm giving you permission to text or call your upline and let them know, hey, I got a live one, and get them talking to that person. And like Mike said, you don't have to be the one to know it. You don't have to be the one to do it. This is very simple for brand new people who don't even know how to talk about our business. It's okay. We're here to help you with that, right? So text 3 people right now and see if you can get somebody in your network right now. Yeah. Joseph said it. Now is the best time.
All right.
I'm not saying hop off this call. You can
do it. Stay on. Hey, you be texting somebody. Y'all know you think you're multitaskers. Here's a chance to prove it.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's a challenge. It's a challenge.
There's a good challenge. All right. Noelle, let's say I'm going to talk about a leader. So let's say there's a leader. They're interviewing somebody right now. And, this is a classic line you ask, especially if they're a licensed agent. What's something you will ask every time you're if somebody's leaning forward and you're talking to them, or maybe it's your second call with them, what's the question you've trained yourself to ask them every time?
Typically, I'll do this on the first call. It's, hey, Mike, let me ask you, what made you decide to get your insurance license? Was it a friend or a family member or somebody you know? And then what? They tell me, what made them decide? Yeah, my mom's in this, my brother, my cousin. I used to do this a while ago. A friend of mine got it into, or whatever their comment is. Then I say, oh, is Joe still doing this business? Is he still in insurance? Or whatever, but I'll write that down. I don't go for that guy right now, get him on the phone. I mean, I guess I could, but this is my initial phone call, because if that person's leaning in, I want to talk to Joe ASAP and get him on the line, but at least I have the name now.
There you go. That's the first thing. Here's another tool is if they're licensed and they're leaning away from wherever they're at, say, hey, who else is over there that's as good as you or better? Who else do you respect over there that may be feeling the same way you feel and realize there's some limitations and they've got more room to grow in this business? So I think so if you're a leader and you're already talking to somebody, that's a challenge I'm giving you. Can you weave that in on your first interview or first follow-up instead of waiting? Jake, I know you were itching to add because you're in the game and you're doing stuff. Go ahead. What were you about to say?
What did you tell? I think it's our next topic. I could hold off for a second because I know we're going to talk about overcoming objections, and I've just got something in mind.
Let's go ahead and move into that. That's fine.
It's because Noelle just challenged everyone on the call, and I'm going to talk to some brand new people who are listening to this thing. And you're probably thinking the way I was thinking when I was brand spanking new in this. Is like when I saw those bubbles on that board and Noelle Lewantowicz was drawing them up there, I knew exactly this is what I want to do. The first thing that popped in my head, though, was I haven't done it yet. How am I supposed to show these people how? And I know there's people on this call that heard that challenge and they were like, I could think of a couple people, and then pulled back because we're thinking, well, I'm not even licensed, or I haven't written a policy yet. How am I supposed to show them? Right? And that's what we found. A lot of people are reserved in growing their business and sharing this with their friends because they feel like they need to know everything and that what if you suck?
Like
I sucked. But what I'm glad I did do is Joseph Dukes, one afternoon, I remember exactly, Joseph Dukes was calling me, and I was like, holy crap, Joseph Dukes is calling me. And my image of Joseph Dukes in my head was so good because of the edification that was brought from other individuals that brought us into this business. Because there was edification, I knew Joseph Dukes as an individual who made a ton of money. and he was wearing this nice suit and he was hiding behind a big stack of cash. And I ran outside and I took the call and I was nervous as heck. And he told me, hey, bro, I want to help you. Can you send me the top 10 people that you've got? And once he said that, it was on, because I was like, I don't know what the heck to say, but I got people and I got people. So we need to remember, it's for you newbie, you don't need to know everything because you've got people who are going to show you. So if we use an example, so Joseph Dukes, we're here in the Southwest. There's a bunch of skiing. There's a bunch of snowboarding. So think of it this way. If you were going to go snowboarding one weekend because you found out that Shaun White, X Games winter gold medalist and summer gold medalist for skateboard vert, he's bad to the bone. He knows how to snowboard. If he was at your local resort and he was going to be doing some lessons showing you how to snowboard, or he's a snowboarder, he's not a skier, he's going to show you how to snowboard, and you've got it in your schedule, you're going to go and you're going to learn from the best of the best on how to go snowboard, and you've never done it before. And it just so happens that week before, leading up to this lesson, you run into one of your buddies and you say, dude, I got to tell you, I'm going up to the resort this weekend. You got to come check this out. Shaun White's going to teach us how to snowboard. I've never done it before, man. I'm so excited. I'm going to. Dude, you should come with me. And the person goes, no, I think I'm good. Why don't you let me know how it goes? See if this Shaun White dude is good. Like, and if you figure out how to snowboard, maybe then let me know. If you figure it out, then maybe let me know. No, that's not gonna happen. It's Shaun freaking White. He knows how to snowboard. So even if you suck and you've never done it before, why wouldn't you go out and, but guys, we've got all these leaders, Lewantowicz, we've got Riddle, right? We've got Edwards, we got Abian, we got the Mathises, right? We got all these bad to the bone leaders that are willing to help you grow and show you how to do it. You don't need to know everything. We don't want you training your people. I'm sorry to say, I hate to be blunt, right, Scott Garcia, but I gotta be blunt, is we don't want you training your people anyway. We're gonna do it, and we're gonna show you how.
Fact.
They're all part of your organization, so don't worry about that either.
Right.
They're in your group, so you start creating that passive income right away, like Alex did with me years ago. So,
and I'll leave it with this, and then I'll shut up, because one of our first people that we hired was one of my best friends who was in our wedding. And it's when the matchstick turns upside down, right? Because Mike and Noelle, we brought our first convention, we brought this couple to the convention, and we joke about it now. But as we learned this business, we were like, we know what they were doing is they were working directly with him, because he was in car sales and he talked all this talk, this and that, and they went bam, straight there. And we saw that, and it pissed us off. More so for Ray, as everyone knows for Ray. and we were, there is no way in heck that we're going to let this couple that they were part of our business. If they wrote a policy, we were going to get paid. But the fact that we were like, there's no way we're going to let them pass us up. We're going to outperform them. We're going to outsell them. We're going to do whatever we can. There's no way that they are going to outperform us. So as leaders, when we're building that depth, understand that it's going to travel up. It's going to trickle up, and it's going to make people work. It's going to get people excited. And even if people quit, you still got some others. But remembering, as new agents, like, we don't need to know everything. If you understand the concept and you're excited, you want to help some people make some money, just ask for help. So, like, you got people that got your back, because if they win, like, everyone wins. We're financially incentivized to help you grow a business. We got you.
And then just looking in your different pools and networks, because we get a lot of times that we've been guilty of making this excuse in the past, like, oh, well, we don't really hang out with a lot of people, this and that. But, like, we've got different pools and networks now, like our younger daughter's in competitive gymnastics. Anybody that has their kid in competitive gymnastics knows it's, you can't be making little money and have your kid in competitive gymnastics. So not that it's crazy expensive. It's $500 a month. The leotard, $600. You pay an equipment fee of $1,000. I don't know. It's maybe $6,000 a year to have her in competitive gymnastics. But one thing that we know is there's parents on that team who would do anything to make an extra $500 a month to pay that kid's competitive gymnastics. We've got our older daughter in volleyball. That's a whole nother network of people that we're doing. That's also $500 a month. There's parents on that team who would give anything to make an extra $500 a month to pay that volleyball tuition, right? So we've got different pools of people. I got recruited to a volleyball team. I played women's volleyball on Sunday night, and I'm already thinking I've got a pool of different people that I can talk to about this, right? So it's just where are we at, and not, it's, you don't have to go way out of your way to find people who are looking. You just have to start thinking and telling yourself, okay, if I was praying for an opportunity, why wouldn't these people be praying for an opportunity?
Yeah. Whew. That's all. That's huge. Here's another stumbling block or something I've seen. Again, they're thinking, well, either, and Jake, you hit on this a little bit, like, hey, I need to prove it first. I said, well, I think our business is doing okay. You know, I don't think it's a question of our business. Now, if you're wondering, are you any good at it? We're wondering too. But the good news is you made a choice to jump on board based on our team's success, not yours. And if you have a friend that's as smart as you, then they could probably discern based on our team's success and not yours as well. So, you know, and what if you do suck, but your friend might be good? I said, hey, why hold them back? Or, hey, you don't want to talk to them? I said, what's the matter? Why are you making financial decisions for them without their input? Don't be a John Miller. I don't know if we have time for the John Miller story today. We might have to save that. But John Miller was trying to make decisions for Noelle and I without our input. He didn't want to tell us about this, and it cost him, I know, Alex Abian says between 10 and 20 million. So don't be a John Miller.
It's ongoing. It's going to be a heck of a lot
it's
more,
ongoing.
too.
The tab keeps going, kind of like the national debt. There's the John Miller balance that he missed out on in overrides. Okay.
But you're right. You're right. Why not ask, really? What are we afraid of? Just to ask somebody, you know, whatever. Hey, do you want to make some money? Hey, are you looking for something else? And give them an opportunity to make that decision for themselves. I think is the biggest thing. Sometimes we like, oh, what are they going to think about me? Or I haven't done it yet. Just give them an opportunity to decide. Somebody gave you an opportunity to decide. Isn't it something that we should pass along? You know, we see the people here. We see the environment. We see Andy Albright. We see, you know, like Mike said, or somebody on the call said, the system works. The people that work it, like Joseph said, you know, are making money and stuff like that, but also being able to do some cool things. And I think that's the biggest thing is just giving the people, like all of the people that have to be over 18, not have to be, they can be under 18 and getting their license, but they have to be over 18 to have a license. And isn't that what they call adults? Are people over 18? They're adults. Let them decide for themselves.
Well, and Noelle, if I could jump in there, you know, if someone's concerned about like, hey, I don't want to, you know, maybe in your head, it's like weird asking someone, hey, are you looking? You know, everyone knows someone. Hey, man, my office, do you know anyone who's keeping their options open right now? Like, I know you probably aren't, but do you know anyone? Because, dude, we are having fun. I got a buddy of mine. I got a young couple, 28 years old. Those guys are going to make $500,000 a year this year. And neither one of them are college educated, which is crazy. Like, I mean, just asking the question, who do you know who, you know, it doesn't have to be you. You know, it doesn't have to be the guy you're asking. They might know somebody. It's crazy.
That's a good point, what you just said. So also know who you're talking to. It's like, does your friend, are they more like into fun like Joseph is? Or are they more into money like me and Beret? But seriously, know what moves them a little bit. Hey, do you want to work in a fun environment? Do you want to be in an environment where people are helping each other and serving? You want to serve families? You want to make a lot of money? That was me when Alex asked me, do you want to make some money? And I'm like, yeah. So just know who you're talking to and what would, within our culture or our team, what would entice that person to actually want to talk to somebody. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I have a couple thoughts that just you guys were talking and thought I'd come back to. So, you know, the mindset shift here. So when we're helping somebody and then we're reaching down and helping them get somebody started. One, it's not just about the numbers. It's about stability. It's about momentum. And so it really, if you think about it, take your eyes off yourself. If you're helping this agent, number one, it's going to give him a better chance of success and survival by helping him identify some people. And if we can carry that forward, it truly is serving each person on that team every time you do that. And so that's the first big piece. And it does take more effort on your part. You are building trust through this process. But it's just remembering that. And that's why, if you see that, that's why the contest is structured to say every time we go a layer down, it's another 1X that's there to help you keep your mind right. Are you slowing down to build a relationship and then build another relationship where we can get some introductions? So really, truly understanding that is huge. So don't lose sight of that. The second thing, I've heard a few tools mentioned today, and I just wanted to recap them. And there's one more we hadn't covered, but it's, okay, what tool can you take and grab onto and use yourself or teach to another person? So we've already heard Jake mention, hey, who's someone you know, who's someone you thought of, hey, can you get them on the phone real quick? Or Joseph Duke said, hey, who's 10 people you can introduce me to? Sometimes we got to start with one. Sometimes because we build trust, then they'll think of 10 more. Who's someone that you've thought of since we last talked? Okay, so we're getting one person on the phone right now, getting a group that we can talk to. Noelle is on day one of the interview thinking ahead. We may not talk to the person now, but planting a seed to come back to. And here's another tool. Another tool is what we call the forward script in the question. And so if you've been with us a bit and you're thinking about this, hey, what's the forward script in the question? 4 words, and he's taught this to us. We've used it a lot as 4 words: help, leads, insurance, and then the name of the person that is helping you, that's building the business that you trust, that you've got a relationship that'll do that 3-way call with you. So it could be, hey, help, leads, insurance, Jake from Albuquerque. It could be help, leads, insurance, and Joseph from Utah. It could be help, leads, insurance, Noelle from Kentucky. Followed by a question. Question is, are you looking to make some more money? And so that's in a simple format. That script would be like this. So if I knew Jake, because we were both working on movie sets together, and I call him up and I say, hey, Jake, what's going on? You can want to open up your mic, role play with me on this one, Jake.
Hey, what's up, Mike? What's happening?
Hey, man, how's the set from Breaking Bad? Did y'all finish up with that? Did y'all have to add on stuff?
Oh, yeah, man. It's I haven't seen my family in like 2 weeks. We've been out of town.
Holy crazy. All right, hey, listen, let me tell you why I'm calling. Outside of doing some stuff on the set building, I'm doing some other work outside of that in the financial world. The company I'm with, we could use some help. We've got these folks that are sending letters in through the internet or social media, through the mail. We call them leads, and they're asking for us to help them get enrolled in certain programs like Medicare or final expense or other insurance and financial programs. And there's a guy, Joseph, who's helping us develop the New Mexico area. He told me to keep an eye out for some other folks. So I'm reaching out to you to see if you might be looking to make some more money.
Dude, I've been talking to my wife for either I need to go back to school or I need to start my own business because I'm sick and tired of this.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, here's what we need to do. I need to get you on the phone with Joseph. I think he's got some time this evening, and I think we can pull this off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put you in a 3-way text with him, and we'll see if he can do like 6 o'clock tonight. Does that work for you?
Hey, I'll make it happen.
All right. And if that doesn't work for him, just be Johnny on the spot and responding so we can find a time that does work with his schedule.
I gotcha.
Okay. So that's the forward script in a question. It's very simple. If you're the one asking, Jake's going to say yes. Perfect. We're going to book the time. If he says no, we'll say, hey, bud, sounds like you're really liking what you're doing. That's awesome. Do you know somebody that could help us out? We really are growing, and he might throw somebody at us because he might know somebody. And then if he says, I got a question, I said, ooh, that's a good question. I could answer that, but Joseph Dukes will do a better job. Let me see if I can get you on the phone with him at 6 o'clock tonight, and he'll do a great job of explaining and see if you'll be a good match for our program. So that's the use of a forward script. So if that helps you and gives you a tool to use, we've mentioned a few. Pick one that you like, that you feel good about, you want to run with. Noelle, you want to talk about building deep versus building wide?
Well, we talked about it a little bit. Width is profitability. Depth is stability in your business. So as you hire somebody direct to you that's what we call in width, one person direct to you. When that person hires somebody, that's what we call starting to build depth. This person that they hired is in my depth. It's in their width. Hopefully I'm not getting confused, but it's in my depth. And you keep building depth like that. So profitability, what do you mean, Noelle, with this profitability? It's profitable because you can hire, I don't know, I'm just throwing numbers out there, but you could be at an 85 and you hire somebody at a 55 and it's profitable because you have that 30-point spread there. If they write a piece of business, you get that override, and so forth. The problem comes in why depth is so important is because if I hire Joseph Dukes and he got sick or hurt or he couldn't run business anymore, and at that moment, then if he's my person, I'm in my width, he can't write business anymore. If he doesn't have anyone else under him, let's say Jake and Veray in this scenario, and he got sick and hurt, but Jake and Veray still could be writing business, and they're still going to be working on paying their bills and, growing their business, I still have that as my override. So it creates freedom, and there's no, width is so important because it leads to finding depth. It leads to finding more people to build a stable, profitable business. And that's what Andy and Jane Albright have done. It's a stable and profitable business. That's why Alex is so excited right now, because with hiring us is because we've been growing a stable business. He still gets those overrides and glow bonus, etc. Does that help?
Jacob Ray, hit us with a way that you're using the contest within your team. How are you taking advantage of this to get, just more traction? What's some thoughts that somebody that's got a team, what can they do that you're doing that might help them maximize, the attention results from this?
Yeah. We're just using like the normal day-to-day conversations that we have, right? We talked about it a little bit already. Is like what you were saying, Mike, when we're out there, selling's going to pay our bills. It's going to make us money to, again, pay our normal bills, pay our business bills, buy more leads, hire staff, do all that stuff, right? And there's going to be those days or those weeks. And it's pointing back to this contest, again, as a way to trick ourselves into getting more bonus points for Thailand, to be clear. And really the main focus on is building something that's worth building, like something that we have that, again, we could step away from, whether we're sick, laid up in bed or on a beach somewhere, and using this to build those habits. And I think this came at the perfect timing. I think Andy unrolled this contest at a perfect time because of all of the momentum that we have in the company right now, all of the momentum that we have. And when we just if we just get crazy focused on recruiting and working in those areas that are going to bring us fast growth, is with that trust. So yes, we're talking about, and I want to make sure we're clear with the term of hiring more market. So using this contest as a way to encourage people to get into their warm market, because the warm market is key. Yes, everything works a little bit. We've heard the stories of, using the license list is a great way to get people up and running quickly because they're already licensed. You can do the Craigslist, you can do the ZipRecruiter. Yes. And Veray and I were sitting at dinner the other night and just thinking, who do we have on our team that we love working with the most and has been most fruitful, and they're just kicking ass. And it's been folks that we've hired. 98% has been either our warm market or a cold market's warm market. So using this contest to really hone in on that warm market recruiting side and get people thinking about who they know that could come along and want to make some money with us. That's probably my biggest focus in how we're leveraging this contest, is getting people thinking about their warm market and how we can get fast growth from hiring people who have already got trust in us, right?
I think it's that. And then if you guys were at NatCon and got to be a part of Andy's breakout session, right? He had Sean Boone up there, and they were making a bet. Does everybody in your phone know what you're doing, right? And it got me thinking. And I've added contacts to my phone that hadn't known what I was doing, right? So just having like what Noelle challenged people to do, text some people. So as I was sitting there in Andy's breakout room, I was texting people, right? And from that, we've hired, one of the people that we reached out to was one of the gymnastics parents. And he said, I wish you guys had told me about this 3 months earlier, because I just started my own side business, but I might not be a fit for this right now, but I think my wife will be. So fast forward, got them to the local hotspot. Now they're both in class because he thinks this is a good idea for him too, right?
That's
so
awesome.
Utilizing it through our warm market and teaching our team to do the same.
There you go. Hey, I'm going to share something real quick. And here's another tip of something we're trying to make sure we want people to know about. I'm going to share my screen. So one of the things that's out there is the leaderboard, and kudos to the Alliance staff, who is amazing. Andy created this contest, and he said, okay, staff, go create a leaderboard. They put it out last week. And as we were talking to Tia and Andy and some others on that team last night, I said, hey, y'all, I think we get more traction if we can get this updated every time the commissions are posted. So they've now committed. I know somebody's probably cringing because then they got to do their job 3 times a week, but the staff is now committed to updating this. I don't know if it's going to be like Tuesday night or Wednesday morning, but basically let's say Wednesday morning, Friday morning, and Monday morning. So we have almost real-time updates as commission or new business data and fast tracking and contracting data is there. So if you're a leader, please be aware of this. Or if you're brand new here, let's go see your name in print. Let's find you on here. Again, you didn't have to look far to find Joseph and Venus at number 2, Jake and Ray at number 3, James and at number 4, James and Pam at number 3 with points, and Andrew Beato coming in at number 5, who's rookie, just got started in July, but climbing up to the top. So you can be new. You're starting the same points as everybody else. There's no leader that has an advantage. You can win as many points as a veteran here. So there's no seniority benefit. It's just who's doing more work in this space. But I would be paying attention, because as the premium from these people starts to grow, you're going to see these numbers are going to start to explode, and the stakes or the standings are going to shake up drastically every couple of days. So I'd be paying attention to that. Joseph,
Sure.
What's another tip as we're getting close to wrapping up that you want people to take away from this today?
Well, I mean, if I'm looking at, so I want to thank you and Noelle. I want to thank Andy and Jane first for the vision that they had about starting the Alliance, because it's not only changed my life, it's changed my kids' life. I mean, this is generational. It's changed generations in my family. And I think if I'm looking at this as a long-term business, hopefully as we're hiring people, they're looking at this like, hey, it's not just a place for, I'm going to get in business with you guys today. It's like, I as a brand new agent, I saw the fruit on your guys' tree, and I hoped that I could make it happen. That was what I hoped. And the coolest thing is that what I've seen since I've been here 18 years is that I've seen that the people who are here long term, they understand the game. They understand it's not just about them going out and being great salespeople. I mean, I love going out and serving clients. I was very focused on that for a long time. And the thing I know about being a salesperson is that eventually, I got ADD and ADHD, so I get bored. So it's like, hey, great, I hit a new number. So you either get bored or you're like, or you start getting that wandering eye. Now, the thing with me is that I never got a wandering eye, but I've always been like, okay, what's next? I'm excited that the Alliance always has like, hey, new things in the estate planning. And, back when we started, it was just mortgage protection. Now we've morphed into health, life, health, wealth, estate planning, all that. But the people who are long-term winning in this game are the ones that are looking at bringing people into their family. They're the ones that are looking at bringing people on. They are not being selfish. I realize that if I'm not sharing this, I'm actually being selfish. I have, as a personal thing, I've made more money than anyone in my family ever has just by being part of this organization and working and following the system that Annie and Jane, y'all created. But I know that if I'm not out there sharing it with other people, then I'm being a John Miller. I'm making choices for other people, and they never asked me to make financial choices for them. Instead, hey, it's like I'm excited. Thank you, Vere, for reminding me. I'm excited to go back through my phone now and start reaching out to folks that I haven't talked to in a long time. Like now is the time. The playing field is so level that I think someone who's brand new, Mike, I actually think that they have an advantage over those of us that have been around a while, because they're excited. And it's like what Noelle said, you're most excited when you're in the beginning. And so it's why I love being on these calls and listening, because every Wednesday get to be on the TWC and get excited one more time. So.
Yeah. Noelle, you want to talk about a textile session? I realize that we were listing tools. I don't know if we explained it. We've kind of hit some smaller parts of it, but if I just realized we left it off, and I didn't want to leave without kind of reminding people of another tool that's out there.
Textiling is just getting together with a few people, and your leader will be there to help you, but everybody there, let's say if it was Joseph and Jake and Vere, we would all be, and Mike, we would all be texting, people in our phones, hey, you have a minute to chat right now, or do you have a second now, or whatever you would text to your friend, yo, Bo, you want to make some money, whatever the thing is that you can text to people in your phone. And then when you get a live one on, we get them on the phone right then. And then your leader, if I was doing it, I would talk about this business, talk to them, build a relationship, and tell them what we're doing and see if they're interested in doing it. And so if you can get a group of people doing that, it just creates this buzz and this energy. And you can do it on Zoom too. We've done them on Zooms. So if you're like, oh, my friends are in a different or whatever, we do it on Zoom. Now the calls we would do over the phone, but if Jake and Vere and Joseph and Mike and I were doing it, we might be on a Zoom like we are right now doing it. So, or you can do it together in your office too.
There you go. So big, easy to do. Get 2, 3, 4, 5 people face to face or Zoom, help you out. Guys, we're right at the end here. Taking advantage of the game. Look at the update that was posted this morning. Is your name on the list? No. Get on the list, and then get someone else on your team on the list. Get yourself on the list. Get someone else on your team on the list in the next 48 hours. Check the update again on Friday, and get out there and hustle. And then, hey, as we're working, we're going to cash in and celebrate in Burlington at Stage 2 Success. You've got time to get a ticket. You've got time to get your logistics. It's a wave between news on who's winning this building game, up and coming producers in the estate planning. It's just, I'm seeing all the things that are happening. It's like, it's amazing what kind of paychecks and stories we're going to have coming in from the estate planning. People are still screaming and doing screaming speeds on the Medicare and on the final expense side or on the IUL side. Things are taking off in so many directions. You don't want to miss out on the highlights that we go over there. Guys, take care. We will see you there. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Noelle, Jake, Vere, and Joseph.